Assalamualaikum, my name is Amir Bialas. I'm from Group1. I will start the presentation. Introduction. Machining is a method in which metal is cut by a controlled material removal process into a desired final shape and scale. Also, it is a part of the manufacture of many metal products, but it can also be used on materials such as wood, plastic, ceramic, and composite. Conventional machining operation must still have a physical tool available. For example, a cutting tool in a lathe machine. From the task given, our team is assigned to assess super metal company to improve their production planning by developing program to help their operator in using conventional machine. Machine specification. First one for lathe machine. It is fully geared headstock. Spinner speed range to include 40 to 2500 rpm. At least 300 mm swing over bed. Spindle bore is 552 mm. SMIS digital readout. Mini machine. Power provided is 3 horsepower. Working surface is 1100 x by 250 mm. 15 to 88 meter per millimeter cutting speed. Feed velocity is 75 to 355 mm per minute. Drilling machine. Power provided is 7.5 horsepower. Working surface 1100 x 3500. Drilling thickness is 1000 mm. Drilling capacity is 14 to 100 mm. 100 to 600 variable RPM. Part design. In this part, our team has decided to use this part for milling machine. First, for milling machine, we choose per gear. Lathe machine, pump shaft, and lastly, drilling machine, we choose brake disc. Operational analysis. A lathe machine. A lathe function is rotate a part against a tool was position is control. The spindle is the part of the lathe that rotates. Various work holding attachments such as trigger, chuck, collet, and center can be held in the spindle. The spindle speed is controlled by varying the geometry of the drive train. Milling machine. Milling is a cutting method that extracts material from the surface of a workpiece using a milling cutter. The cutting edge of the instrument are repeatedly cut into and out of the material as the milling cutter reaches the workpiece, scraping off chip from the workpiece with each run. The milling process removes material by performing many separate small parts. This is done by using multi-teeth cutter, spinning the cutter at high speed or slowly advancing the material from the cutter. Drill machine. Drill holes are characterized by sharp edge of the entrance side and presence of burrs on the exit side. By producing low resistance stress around the holes opening and very thin layer highly stress and disrupt material on the newly formed surface. Drilling can affect the mechanical properties of the workpiece. Depending on the method and process parameter, chip also can form long spiral or small flat. Thank you.
Hi, component teacher. My name is Teo Xiong, and my machine number is AD190226. And now I would like to present the programming algorithms and flowchart for drilling machine. So based on this diagram, you can see there is 5 drive hub main holes, 2 drive hub small holes, and also 4 disc brake holes. So there is 24 holes in total. So for the flowchart, so first we put start, then input drive hub thickness, and we see whether the value is between 9.53 mm and 50.8 mm. If no, copy to input the thickness again, else then go input drive hub main hole diameter, and then we check the condition again, whether the value is between 17.5 mm and 65 mm. If no, then input the diameter again, else go to input number of dry hub main holes. So do the same thing for small holes and disc brake holes. Then we need to find the total machining time. But before that, we have the function, and inside the function have for loop. So we need to write all the process and calculation first. Then we check whether the value of the main hole number is less than or equal to the main hole number we input. So if yes, then calculate the TR1 and DT1 again, which is the drill time. And then else it will go to another loop for the small hole and the disc brake hole also. Then we're adding them up, which is adding TT1, TT2, and TT3, and then the value of total machining time will be displayed. So next, we write the process and calculation for energy consumption. and the value of the total energy consumption will be displayed, and then do the same thing for determine the total operation cost. And then next we need to calculate the total solid waste generation. But before that, we have another function which also involve the for loop again. So thus we need to do the same thing like the previous one. Then we can know the value to total we can know the value of total waste generation. And then we need to calculate the total drill changing time. But before that, we have another functions, and then we need to check for the conditions first to determine the drilling time for the main hole, small hole, and also the this hole. And then we adding them up together. Then lastly, we write all the process and calculation for estimated productivity per hours working. And then we will get the value also. And then this is the end. So this is the C code for the drilling machine, and these are the outputs for our programming. So the first one, these are the outputs and the answers, and the second one is just to show that if we input the value that is not between the range, it will re-enter the value of the statement. So that's all for me. Thank you. I will pass it to the next presenter.
Okay. Hi. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Shukri bin Abu Hurairah, matrix number CT1.0133. So today we would like to present our group project assignment. So for the coding, here we can see when we start the program, it will show an instruction of how to use this milling machine program. So it's that set up the machine first and the product of your desire. So in here we must include the setup machine first. In here we can see the main menu showing that 1 for machining process, 2 for setup machine, and 3 for retail product. So we must go for the setup machine. So in here we can see that the diameter of the raw material needed to be done. So for example, I put 500. It stated that it already exceed the limit, where the limit is below 10 and does not more than 350 mm. So I must state, for example, I state 300. Same for the next one. For the height of raw material, I state maybe 400. No, you just say that do not exceed 150. So example, I state 80. For the diameter of hole, I state maybe 90. And then for the length between gear teeth, I'm enter 80 mm. So it's again, I must not exceed 43.75. For example, I put 30. So instead now, please set the desired RPM. For example, I set 5000 RPM. It show the limit does not exceed 3000 RPM. So I put maybe to 1200, and the cutter tools I put 6. So it say that do not exceed 5. So maybe I put 4. Okay. So based on the numbers or values that I state, the MRR, material removal rate, has been set 1305.03 mm per minute. So next I will go check again in the product detail. It states that diameter raw material, head, and the others. Then I can proceed with the machining process. So instead here, do you wish to go or continue on the machining process? Then I press 1. So in here is that the total part machining time, energy consumption, operation cost, solid waste regeneration, and the estimate productivity per hour has been given in this program. So that's it. That's all for milling program. Next, I will pass to my friend.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Sharifuddin bin Kamaruddin. I would like to explain briefly about the machinery. Firstly, set up the machinery by press 2. Then, we enter the value of raw material diameter. Then, enter the value of length of raw material. Next, enter the value for center diameter of the hole. Then, enter the value of depth of center hole. After that, state the desired RPM. From that, insert the depth of the cutting. Then, insert the second cutting depth. Last but not least, go to the machining process and press 1 for yes. It will show all the calculation involved during this program running.
Next, I will explain about conclusion. For conclusion, our group has been assigned to make 3 complete programs. This program used for conventional machining for selected metal part in lathe machine, milling machine, and drilling machine. We can learn how to make complete program and how to run conventional machine. We can learn how conventional machine operating by making the program. That's all. Thank you. Now, I will explain about limitation using conventional machine. First, high investment cost machine. Number 2, high maintenance effort. Number 3, need for skilled programmer. Number 4, require specialized operator to complete the task at hand. That's all. Thank you.